Ricardo sitting in for James Pledger. This Pledger is imminent to return from the.
Are we sure?
I haven't heard from him. So.
I mean, judging by everything that I've seen on Facebook,
his Daredevil weekend, I don't know if he's alive. I mean, he was alive enough and survived all his shenanigans to post, but he's coming from Colorado. I mean,
biking,
it's like an Elvis date.
Whitewater rafting,
four runners up the side of a mountain.
Rolling down the other.
He's going to come back from vacation and call in sick. It's a bet move.
Yeah, I've seen that happen in the more recent past. We do expect him back tomorrow. We'll look completely at the NBA. Denver, thanks for playing. We enjoyed your presence. Now you guys got to go home and reassess. But we'll look at what happened to Jokic, a foul, a technical, and an expulsion. The point guard that is Chris Paul, the Nets are in some serious trouble now. When this super team was first formed, way back in, what was this? February, March, somewhere back in there when the deal was made. I was wrong. But I said the reason this whole thing will fall apart will be on Kyrie. Now, I thought it would be reasons from the neck up, not the ankle down. Sure. But it still kind of seems to fall into place. Kyrie rolls an ankle. And very quickly, the Milwaukee Bucks are tied up again.
Well, and again, remember last week it was, are you ready to pull the plug on Milwaukee after the way they played in those first two games? And now it's tied 2-2. And Kyrie's already been rolled out for tomorrow's game. So the advantage right now is with the Bucks. And I got to tell you, the idea of Phoenix or Utah going to the NBA Finals, anybody but Brooklyn, I'm excited about what we're going to see in this year's NBA Finals. As long as no team from LA is able to somehow get off of the canvas and make it, and no super team out of the New York area, I'm really going to enjoy this NBA Finals. Get some new blood.
I can't wait to see the Kevin Durant tent fold while he's on his own. He is such a whiny little girl, just a little whiny baby. And he's going to have to carry him.
Don't say that.
We talk about the separation between, he might find me, between all-star and superstar. Well, there's no question Katie's a superstar, but can he carry a team? Can he do it? He hadn't yet.
Well, when you say that, if they don't make it, I'm not going to blame Kevin Durant. I mean, when you have a big three and two are out, I mean, Kevin Durant can only do so much. I mean, let's face it. He's not going to win it alone. That's why super teams formed, because you can't do it by yourself.
Well,
it's just going to be fun to watch
seen
them
it
crash
done
and burn.
Before. We've seen guys carry their teams. I would put it to you that right now, Donovan Mitchell is carrying his team.
Yeah.
Alone. He's got a team that for some reason likes to go on 3, 4, 5-minute shooting droughts. Just for whatever purpose, things get cold and they make every game more interesting than it should be. So I put it on KD. This is your opportunity, man. You want to be considered like you think you are? You're going to have to go win a couple of games by yourself. You're going to have to do it. If not, then you'll be relegated to one of them. One of those guys that is required to win a title but can't do it by himself. And I will hold it against him just because I don't like the guy. But it couldn't happen to a nicer group. We'll figure out what they have to do without Kyrie. The 76ers in the same boat. Now, they didn't lose a Kyrie, but they lost their best defensive wing stopper and Danny Green, and timely shooting as well. You wonder if Matisse Thybulle or Furkan Korkmaz can step in and fill the void that the winner, the heir apparent to yet another ring, I think, Danny Green sitting out with a bad ankle. This is going to be it wasn't an ankle. It was a
foot. I mean, I saw his foot in a boot. And it doesn't look good for Danny, especially what's left in this series. And, some people will knock him. All that dude is go places and wins championships. I mean, that's what Danny Green does. And, sometimes it's not necessarily the star player like Kyrie, but your positive role players, and are they performing up to par? So I would say Philadelphia is in a little bit of trouble as well because of injuries.
Wonder if they can get through the Atlanta cavalcade of stars that seems to be emerging. Boy, it is fun to watch Atlanta and the Suns play. And we're getting to know teams. We're learning about these guys. And I have a great appreciation, not only for the Suns, but also the way that Atlanta's been put together. Those are both unheralded, very good basketball teams, far more than their stars. They really are. We'll see how.
You look at Atlanta is a far better basketball team than I thought they were all season. I thought they were still a year or two away. You know about Trae Young and then what? And it's not like most of us are going to stop and watch an Atlanta game just on a random night during the NBA season. Phoenix, with what we saw in the bubble, and they've taken it to another level. Now I was in Phoenix over the weekend, and you talk about a city that is excited right now about their basketball team. The Valley is got Suns fever. I saw my memories. It was 14 years ago today that the Spurs finished off the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2007 NBA Finals. And then you go back and, we thought, all right, well, how many more are we going to get? Well, there was one that came 7 years later. But you look at it and you think about the 99 team or the 03 team, 05 team, and what the city was like back then around the playoffs. That is exactly the way Phoenix is right now. I was at the Angels Diamondbacks game on Friday night. And decent crowd, it's a bad baseball team. The Arizona Diamondbacks just suck, but the Angels were in town, so it was a good crowd. Kind of a dead atmosphere until they showed Suns highlights to update the fans on the scoreboard. That was the loudest the baseball stadium ever got, is when they would show Suns scores and highlights.
I'm jealous. I am. I envy that. I envy the waking up and the full day of talk and everybody in gear and looking forward to the game and the morning gifts, whatever they might be, free coffee, free donuts, whatever it is with a win. Yeah, we're further away from that than I'd like to think, but I do miss it. And we'll look a lot at what's going on there. We'll look around the NFL for sure. And I'm kind of burying the lead. We're going to be joined by Antonio Daniels at 5:15. He, former NBA great. He sits on the panel there on the desk for the Pelicans, and one of the more exciting young basketball teams with the top two, I guess, exciting young ball players in the world with Zion. We'll catch up with the NBA with him, catch up. He's got his annual basketball camp's just around the corner. So if you're looking for something for your kids to do over summer, make sure you're tuning in. Antonio will have all the information. I can tell you from experience, both of my boys both played, and 1 year my oldest actually worked over at the camp. And extraordinary camp. It's more than just basketball. It's Antonio Daniels. So, of course, it's going to be more than hoops. It's a great way to get your kids entertained, athletically inclined, if or not, learn a little bit of basketball, but more life lessons than anything else. It's a good time, good camp. And Antonio will be here about 5:15. So let's kick this week off. When we come back, we'll look at what happened yesterday. The Suns grabbed a broom. Denver has to reassess. And boy, what is Steve Nash going to do with his wounded team? We'll talk about it next right here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We all like things easy and convenient. New Brakes has done that with brake repair. Jason Minnix here for New Brakes. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you, your home, your office, wherever you are, and fix your brakes. So if your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, go to nubrakes.com and schedule your repair. They provide convenient and affordable brake repair, and they only fix brakes, so no upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour, and they only use premium brake parts, and they do back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. So if your brakes are squeaky or grindy, don't turn up the radio and try to ignore the noise. Go to nubrakes.com and schedule that repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at nubrakes.com. Whether you're at work, you're home and watching the games, they got weekend appointments, weekday appointments. As long as sun's out, they can be outside working. You do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes, and they're great at what they do. Go read all the 5-star reviews and schedule your repair now at nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Hoops and Hype, The Post-Up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson. A basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The Post-Up. Fridays at 7 after the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Hey, what are you going to do when your air conditioner breaks? Because it's going to break eventually. If not now, sooner than later. That's what San Antonians have to deal with. It's hot now and only getting hotter. And how miserable is it right now? Can you imagine if your air conditioning was broken in your home or at your business? You need to get that fixed immediately. That's why I recommend Service First AC and Plumbing. I want you to put this phone number in your phone, because when your AC breaks, time is of the essence for 100 different reasons. You need to have a one dial to the best you can get, and that's Service First AC and Plumbing. I want you to put this in your phone, 210-521-1500. 210-521-1500. That one dial to Service First AC and Plumbing brings you the fastest service and same-day calls in all of San Antonio. You're going to get fast and friendly texts. It's family-owned. They've been around our city for well over 14 years, and they are eager to take care of you. They're reliable, proactive, and most importantly, they're absolutely trusted. And I don't say that lightly. I trust Service First AC and Plumbing. They have proven to me everything that I've just told you. I had a pretty significant plumbing leak a little over 2 weeks ago. Got my one dial into Service First AC and Plumbing. Angel came out, one of their master techs, and went to work. Before I knew it, it was fixed. He'd even headed off another problem that was coming without even being asked. That's what you get when you call Service First AC and Plumbing. They specialize in emergencies. They're your first responder. When your AC and your plumbing goes down, one dial, 210-521-1500, brings you someone 24/7, 365 days a year. You want to see tons of 5-star reviews? Go check out their website, servicefirstactx.com. You've got a guy in the plumbing and AC business. You've got an expert on call 24 hours a day, and they will respond as such. Don't get caught in a lurch. Know what you're going to do when things go bad. And it will. Your AC or plumbing is destined to break at some point, probably sooner than later. Make sure you've got Service First AC Plumbing in your phone. When you need them, they'll be there. And when they get it fixed, I'm sure you'll come thank me later.
Howdy, San Antonio. Chip Ingram from the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, inviting you to come out and enjoy patio season. We have newly remodeled patios, garage doors, and everything else you need to enjoy this great South Texas weather. As always, ice cold beer and specialty drinks. Happy hours daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And our kitchen is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. See you soon at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant at 281 and Redland Road.
It's a baseball summer, and the Missions are back on at the Wolf tomorrow night for $2 Tuesday. The Missions battle the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. Come out and enjoy $2 tickets, parking, beer, and sausage wraps. Gates open at 6 p.m. with the first pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets and details. That's samissions.com. Wolf Stadium is now open to 100% capacity for Missions baseball. Let's get back to fun. Play ball!
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
It is the Blitz. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob Thompson, Jason Minnix here today. James ain't, but he'll be here tomorrow. Ricardo in his stead. We're going to take you to 6 o'clock. We got NBA basketball brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. We're your home for the NBA playoffs right here on ESPN San Antonio. Well, if you're Steve Nash, you got some roster issues to deal with. I just saw a Woj comment on ESPN where he said that James Harden is imminent to return quicker than Kyrie. Seems to be will play before Kyrie does. We don't know when that will be. But let's look at what happened yesterday. The Suns sweep the Nuggets in an impressive fashion. Now, yesterday, let's get into how it happened. They had control of the game, Jason. It didn't seem like they were too concerned about losing late and Jokic trying to make a I don't know, an emotional play, swipes down on Campaign, swipes his nose, blacks him out, and makes him cry like anybody who gets hit with on the nose. But was it a flagrant 2? Was it enough to get expelled and thrown out and effectively end this season for the Nuggets? I don't know. I don't think so.
My initial thought was no. I mean, because when he slapped the ball, he got all ball. He glanced off the dude's face. I mean, if he didn't act like he got shot, and I know it hurt, don't get me wrong, but come on, like that. But I think the windup got it. But even if they would have gone flagrant 1 instead of 2, he would have got the double T and been ejected for going face to face there with Devin Booker. So I think either way, by that one action, he was going to be out of the game.
You look at what happened to Denver, and certainly they have the built-in excuse, no Jamal Murray. And certainly that is pretty devastating considering when we saw him in the bubble, which, by the way, we are learning by every passing day that the bubble was false. What happened in Orlando, while it was interesting and compelling given the times that we were living, it wasn't as good a basketball. And we had some surprises because I think, quite frankly, most of the teams were just eager to get the hell out of there. Now we're seeing true basketball, and without Jamal, it certainly hurt them. But I do think that Denver's going to have to do some reassessing. I think that they shouldn't have gotten swept. Now, they're a team good enough that might have had difficulty beating the Suns as everybody else would, but you don't lose every game. There's a built-in excuse, but I think Coach Malone and the rest have some self-evaluation to go through, because as their plan has been pretty respectable over the last 4 years, they needed to win this series. They needed to win against a team like Phoenix, who quite frankly, in my mind, I thought would have just been happy to be where they were.
You know, it's interesting because I think Phoenix appears to be ahead of schedule, where Denver, especially getting swept. And now, in the long run, whether you lose in 6, you lose in 7, you get swept, you're out in the second round. But I thought Denver was a better basketball team, but there were some injuries there. And I think, I don't know how much Porter's back injury played a part, but also with no Jamal, they're not at full strength. And it always sucks when teams are eliminated because they don't have their horses. We're going to say something similar, when Brooklyn gets eliminated, although maybe a little bit more in a celebratory mood. But, Brooklyn without their big 3 is going to be hard pressed to get by the Milwaukee Bucks for the rest of this series, especially with no Harden or Kyrie for the next one. But I think as much as Denver's got to do its self-reflecting on what the hell went wrong in getting swept, I think part of it is you look at an extremely hot Phoenix team that's playing great basketball right now, that looks to be well put together and playing on all cylinders, led by a 36-year-old guy in Chris Paul, who went bananas last night.
How much is a Chris Paul worth?
$37 million.
At the minimum. I mean, that's ridiculous. But he is going to earn a 3-year max deal again. I would hope it's with Phoenix.
Well, I mean, and again, I can't imagine him getting another max deal. I mean, this guy was left for dead, leaving Houston, and play out your contract, bank all that money, record some State Farm commercials, because you're done. Yeah, he's been the steadying force on that team. It's really been the perfect mix. Just seeing at the end of that game, Monty Williams going over and hugging Chris Paul. And I couldn't tell which one was older. Was it Chris or was it Monty? But, just for Monty, obviously understanding what Chris Paul has been through in his career and what a championship on his resume is going to mean. Hell, a trip to the NBA Finals for Chris Paul. But Chris Paul is such a important part to this Phoenix Suns. He's not a pieces and parts guy like, say, a Blake Griffin is right now with Brooklyn, although they're going to have to rely on Blake if they're actually going to get by Milwaukee. I mean, but Chris Paul is what is making this thing go.
His relationship with Chris Paul hasn't been the best. When they first worked together a decade ago, Paul was not happy with what Monty was doing with the Pelicans, that he didn't take into the consideration the players' situations and the like. And now to see them get along so well, it's just a further testament as to why Williams is easily the coach of the year and has lit a fire under a team that, quite frankly, is learning on the go from Chris Paul. I'm astounded by what he's been capable of physically to come back from that shoulder and then to continue to lead his team and hit shots the likes of which, quite frankly, Chris Paul didn't always hit. I mean, even in the most recent times. Now, he's exited the Spurs with a great shot several years back, but in the mean, he has just been a very good player, but now the term point guard certainly fits. He's ushering an era in for himself that I don't think anybody expected to see with Chris Paul. You just wonder if the Suns are going to be able to hold on to him and spend the kind of money that's going to be required. Looking
if
at
they win, if they win, I think it'd be hard pressed for them to do some negative things to that roster. And when you think about, obviously, when you sweep a team in the playoffs the way Phoenix has, you start looking at how this team has been built. And you wonder if a lot of teams are going to start copying what the Phoenix Suns have done, especially if they actually make it to the finals.
You mean just drafting good talent?
Drafting good talent. Drafting what you need, not best available. Drafting, quality guys that are going to be well together. And again, being in Phoenix over the weekend here and everybody talk about it. I mean, it's funny how the storylines in Phoenix, minus a Chris Paul, talks about when you're out there, the homegrown talent, how they've trusted the process, all the cliche things that we've all heard and every organization tries to do. I heard comparisons this weekend on Sports Talk Radio out there to the 2017 Houston Astros and how they went through all the years of suck to finally get those young guys together playing good basketball. And here we are. Not that I was out there, but at the airport, but the news coverage, when they flew in, kind of reminded me when, everybody used to go down and greet the Spurs at the airport when they come in. I mean, Phoenix has that early 2000s San Antonio feel to it for their basketball team right now.
Mikal Bridges is just a wonderful young player to watch. He among the others, DeAndre has certainly been a steady growth, and I want him to be a little bit more physically aggressive. I want him to start dunking a little bit, but as far as the skill set's remarkable. And Devin's Devin. I cannot wait to see a Booker Spida matchup. Mitchell and Booker, those guys have been going at each other for years, and we get another opportunity in a series for the Western Conference Championship. It seems almost too perfect because we'll see the blossoming of one of those nexts that'll truly be able to take his team to the finals. And Cam Payne, while he spent plenty of time on the ground with a lot, he's playing so remarkably well and has found his niche in there, along with Cam Johnson, who used to just be a jump shooter. Now it is a testament to Monty Williams. And again, let's give some credit here. He did fall off the Greg Popovich coaching tree. He's played and coached here. So I think he brought a lot of what San Antonio's belief is into Houston, into Phoenix, and has kind of adopted this kind of system and found the right guys and talking Chris Paul into coming over as a free agent. Move of the year.
Well, and again, you talk about a handful of guys in there, very much the Spurs way is what Phoenix is doing. Bring guys in that other people either didn't want or couldn't get the most out of, put them in a position to be successful, let them do what they do well, and you go from there. Think about all the guys that had, various roles on championship teams here, and then they go somewhere else, and you go, well, that guy was Speedy Claxton. I mean, that guy couldn't play anywhere else but here. You think about names like Rasho or Francisco Elson and some of those guys here. What's your role? Nazi, go do it here and win a ring.
Jay Crowder providing the toughness. I mean, it's a very well put together team. And I think more than anything else, you can see that Denver has something that's translatable, that will move forward. They've got the right guys, all of them under contract for a bit. They've got to have somebody else to kind of spell Chris Paul in the meantime. But this is a solid team but for injuries, I don't see any let up next year. But, we said the same thing about Denver. Did Coach Buden, let's look at it this way when we look at the Bucks Nets series. Did the Bucks win those games or did the Nets lose them? Because I think there's something to be gained from how you looked at those games.
I thought in Game 3, the Bucks won that one. In Game 4 with the injury, Brooklyn lost. I mean, Durant did what he possibly could. Granted, I was watching that game, the majority of it, at the Phoenix airport yesterday afternoon with no sound. And then, of all things, TNT isn't available on the free TV on Southwest. So I didn't get to see the ending of it, but I knew about the injury, and it was all but over from there. But I do like the way Milwaukee has responded in the last 2 games, even with their game plan and their overall effort. They got slapped in the face, but they've turned it up defensively. For them to hold in game 3, what did Brooklyn score? 3/4 worth of points in 4? I mean, that was just an embarrassing offensive output from Brooklyn. But I say that because I thought the defense was that good by the Milwaukee Bucks. Their adjustments were certainly noticeable.
One of the things that they stopped doing was fighting over the tops of screens, especially with Durant and the ball. You notice a little bit more switching. And now that Kyrie's gone, it's going to be KD on an island. Just expect to see 5 out or 5 to a side and KD with the ball in his hand to go do what he can, because unless they find a little bit more and Joe Harris finds his stroke again, they're in a lot of trouble. And my question to you really is, Jason, if you're looking at Harden, and according to a Woj comment just a couple of minutes ago on ESPN, that Harden is further along toward a return certainly than Kyrie. Do you feel, if you're Steve Nash, that you have to play Harden, even if he's only at 60% or whatever it might be, in this kind of pivotal game 5? Or can you afford to wait and be down and looking at the possibility of having to win 3 straight games?
Well, I think if you check Vegas right now, the Brooklyn Nets, as we sit today at 4:26 in the afternoon on Flag Day, the Brooklyn Nets are still your favorites to win the NBA championship. Although in those same Vegas sports books, they are now underdogs in their series against the Milwaukee Bucks. That said, I don't know that I push James Harden. If he's not close, if he's 60%, the answer is no. If he's 90%, get out there and play. I think this is where you have to rely on your doctors, not James Harden, because my guess is Harden's going to want to get out there and play. But it's a hamstring. I mean, if you're able to get by the Bucks because you pushed a hamstring out a little too soon and he blows it out again, is making it to the East Finals or making it to the NBA Finals, but seriously damaging that hamstring for next year, it ain't worth it.
How'd you like the Zaza performance by the Freak? Perfectly placed foot, man. It's amazing how well-placed foot will change the outcome of an entire NBA season.
It looked like a pure accident to me, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It wasn't like Zaza. That foot was there for a long time. Kyrie's landing gears had to see that size whatever coming down there. It was, though. It's funny you bring up Zaza. We didn't talk about this earlier, but that's the first thing I thought of. Why haven't the NBA or basketball types figured out some sort of legit strong ankle to keep stuff like that from happening? Some sort of brace or I don't know. Something, because we should see that more than we do. But man, you knew as soon as he did it, it looked like, well, he's done. He's done for the year.
By his reaction, I don't think he's ever rolled an ankle like that before.
I just think that one, it just looked, my ankle hurt seeing it.
My experience is the first time that you legitimately sprain your ankle, the first time, whether you're a 7th grader or you're 25, the first time that happens, you're pretty sure it's broken. You're pretty sure that something happened down there where the foot just fell off. It is the most painful thing. And, he writhed on the court for, 3, 4, 5 minutes, man. It looked really bad. And then he kind of limped off the court. He was putting some weight on it, walking off. And that's pretty typical of that first injury. Sometimes it's not nearly as bad as you think the pain is telling you it is. I know that there's still an MRI in place. I don't know how bad it is, but if that's the first time he's ever hurt his ankle like that, and it's not graded anything worse than a grade 1, I expect to see Kyrie back sooner than later, just because the way I saw him walk off. Now, today's swelling will certainly play a role in the MRI that's going to very quickly follow. But if it was the first time, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Willis Reed entrance. Wouldn't be surprised to see a walk-on in Game 6.
I am not a Kyrie Irving ankle history expert, but we've been watching this guy long enough. He's got a long injury history. I'm sure he's had a bad ankle in there more than once. That was not his first ankle sprain. Maybe landed on somebody's shoe like that, just coming down the way he did. But
you don't think that was his first sprain?
No.
All right. then he's got a very low pain tolerance.
That I agree with.
Because
we know his injury history.
The writhing, I thought, man, it's either the first time that thing's broke. I'm going to have to reel out a cart a la Euro 2020. I love watching injuries there, except for, my goodness, what happened yesterday. I'm glad I wasn't watching live to see a guy collapse with his heart stop. But I did land on that channel about 3 or 4 minutes after it had actually happened. Most surreal viewing experience I've ever had. I couldn't, I wanted to turn the channel. I wanted to look away. I wanted to, offer the privacy that, my gosh, you'd like to have if you're in that situation, but I couldn't leave because I didn't see it happen in the descriptions of what had happened. I just could not imagine that being a team and a person or a player that I looked up to watch literally have his heart stop on the pitch.
And the doctor said he was gone. They had to bring him back. And all I saw on Twitter was, very weird, cryptic, like I've never seen anything like that. Prayers, hope he survives. I was thinking it was some sort of in-game action type injury, not a heart attack in the middle of play. And I still haven't seen any video or whatever, but just scary to think about. What was the ref in the NCAA tournament that passed out? I mean, you remember how scary that was. This seems so much worse. And again, is all the crazy stuff that we see in sports and sports injuries. You see something like that and you realize it's just a game. And I can't believe they resumed the game later.
Yeah. And of course, the team that lost the kid lost.
Yeah,
I mean,
go figure.
I don't know what you do in those kind of situations. I don't know how long you can actually
cancel the game and come back tomorrow.
I honestly don't know. I don't know when the next games are scheduled. It seemed rather short, but again, both teams did agree. Even the losing team did agree to it.
I mean, and I'm sure, hey, you guys need to go play.
And he's alive. I mean, he didn't die. He even talked to his team after they resuscitated him and got him to the hospital.
He knew he was alive then, but I think the term is expectant. We weren't sure if he was going to make it, right? I mean, was he revived and leaving the court? All right. I mean, how many times? I mean, think about, you were at the game when Dak Prescott broke his ankle. The stadium's quiet forever. You see your quarterback with his leg broken and off, and then, all right, line up, let's go. I mean,
well, they had 5 hours, and they did talk to him via video. I mean, he did FaceTime him, but not like they walked out onto the field going, I hope he's still alive. No, at the time they walked on, they knew they just lost 1-0. I do think that they probably shouldn't have agreed to play that soon, but he was fine. I mean, it was devastating and all that. It wasn't.
I think at some point you don't ask the players if they want to go play.
And while we're on it, no, you don't ask players that.
No,
ever.
You don't ask the players, do they want to go play?
Can we thank the Euros again for offering us something to view in July? I mean, it seems like every year the Europeans come up with, the soccer world comes up with another tournament.
Now, yeah, sure. I think about it. I don't understand all the soccer. I don't know what we're watching right now.
It's the Euro 2020, Jason. They do it every 4 years. It's been going on since the early 1900s, about 1917, I do believe. And about 20, I had to look this up. And about 10, 12 years ago, they doubled the field. It's much bigger than it used to be.
Well, that's great. And there's countries that play that we've never heard of that you may or may not be able to find on a map. But I don't know.
Northern Macedonia, if you're curious.
What is their mascot?
I don't think.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't know. Do countries have mascots like that? Do they have soccer mascots? Like I know that the French.
I have no idea.
It's a rooster.
All I know is that at 8:00 in the morning, when you wake up to soccer, it's just a different kind of wake up on a Monday than what you're used to.
I kind of enjoy it. I really do. It's growing on me. I haven't picked a favorite yet. I don't know anybody, but I'm enjoying the different colors.
I think Macedonia, the northern variety, is your favorite team now.
They've been around since 1991, by the way. It was a country of about 2 million people formed out of the when Yugoslavia fell apart. So, if you're curious, if you're looking for a team to be a fan of, they only got like 2 million people in the whole country, and they made it into the Euro 2020, which I think is probably equally as important as that song contest, the Euro song.
What song contest?
You don't follow the Euro song contest every year?
No.
Well, you're just going to have to start paying attention to the other side of the pond. And we come back as the Trailblazers continue their coaching search. They have rated, or at least have asked for permission for 2 current San Antonio Spur coaches and administrators to go and interview. Becky Hammond, I'll tell you who the other one is coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minnix here for Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, there's no better place to go than Ancira. I can tell you firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. Through the years, I've bought many vehicles from Ancira, including one that I'm driving now. My daughter's car and my niece's car are from Ancira. Half the people at the radio station drive Ancira vehicles, and it's because of how well they take care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. That great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership here in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available, and you know price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram truck, part of the Ancira I-10 complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Hebner.
There's only one way to do Saturdays with the Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson getting you ready for all the weekend's games and then some. Saturday mornings 9 to 11, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Hurt in an accident and dealing with hospital bills? Thomas J. Henry will help you with medical bills while we work on your case. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
At CDW, we get that as an IT professional, your hands are full. Our experts can give you the help you need by custom configuring Apple products like the iPad and Mac, so they're ready to go right out of the box. Your employees get highly secure devices that feel familiar and operate intuitively, and you'll benefit from easy ongoing management that frees up your hands for other projects. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Apple at Work.
Sheila, we need to set up Johnson's quarterly review.
Janowski Investments keeps portfolios profitable, but a double client base calls for double the advisors.
Hello. Hi, Janet. I'm so sorry. Pulling up your portfolio right now. Give me a sec.
Indeed can help them hire the people they need.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Your experience matters. At University of Phoenix, relevant life experience and eligible transfer credits can help you earn your degree faster and for less. In fact, undergrads who apply these credits, on average, save about 1 year and $11,000. Get the credit you deserve for time spent in the classroom, on the job, and in life. And see how much you can save at phoenix.edu. That's phoenix.edu.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Jason Minnix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Don't wait until you think you have a problem with your water before calling Alamo Water Softeners. Have Alamo Water Softeners come to your house and give you a free water analysis and free estimate. You can get a free reverse osmosis system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
It is the Blitz. Welcome on to ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minnix. I'm Rob Thompson. Blitz is always brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson. an experienced personal injury attorney. He's available 24 hours a day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call Jason as soon as possible. Let him get to work for you. And that call always is absolutely free along with your consultation. The number you need is 210-900-0400. Need more information? Go to his website, alawyerforus.com. Antonio Daniels will be here in about 30 minutes. We're going to talk NBA and all things Antonio when he arrives. It's always good to catch up with an old friend. In the meantime, speaking of old friends, Becky Hammon in the news as coaching opportunities arise. There are 3 very good jobs available as we sit. Portland, Indiana, and the Celtics are in the search, and Becky has already been mentioned prominently in 2 of those searches. One in Portland. She is expected to interview this week. Also, the Pacers have mentioned her in passing for those that are up for interviews. But the one that surprised me, Jason, was Brent Barry, Spurs Vice President of Basketball Operations, a longtime Spur and been around the league for years, decades, certainly has the bona fides, is also interviewing, it appears, with the Portland Trailblazers.
Brent Barry being on the list certainly surprised me because I never really thought Brent was into the coaching.
Yeah, me either.
I think about his brother. I think about his dad. Coaching, no. Now, maybe because it's Portland and it's up there in the Northwest, even though he played for the Sonics. I don't know what the tie is there, the relationships, or maybe the desire that, Panic at the Costco, the band that he has, might not make it off of Broadway, so he might as well get into coaching if he's not going to have that good music career. But being in the Northwest, I don't know. I was surprised to see Brent Barry's name on the list. I think Portland at the same time is casting a very wide net because not only are Becky and Brent on there, your retread types like Mike D'Antoni is on there. Of course, their GM, and moving on from Terry Stotts, talked a lot about defense. And you can't tell me about defense and then hire or interview Mike, right? Other than the GM protects his job because defense falls on coaching, not GM and lineups and that sort of thing, right? But they're also going to apparently interview Dawn Staley. And she is certainly qualified. And I could see her leading a group of men just like I can Becky Hammon. But part of me gets a little defensive there. I want Becky Hammon to be the first female coach in the NBA.
Becky chose not to go to University of Florida a couple of years ago. She was offered that job. And, she doesn't have head coaching experience. You don't have to. So notice the coaches now out there that didn't have head coaching experience. But if you're, lining resume to resume, Dawn Staley certainly equal to Becky Hammon. I don't. Oh, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't upset me a bit. And as far as Portland goes, Portland doesn't get to hire a retread. You need to go get a young coach if you want to escape the ire of the NBA, pundits and the ones that are looking for equity in all situations. That I think Portland needs to bring in somebody that hasn't coached or a former player. The only team that's got an available opening is the Pacers. The Pacers have every right to go. Well, all 3 teams have every right to go hire whoever they want. But the Pacers, they tried the new young coach Bjorkson that they brought in for Nate McMillan when they fired McMillan. Was off the sidelines, had been an assistant all over the place, a young and up and coming kind of coach with new ideas, and he failed miserably. I think if the Pacers step forward and said, we are hiring somebody with experience, like it appears could be Stotts, I don't think I would be upset, even if it was over the likes of Becky Hammon. But I do believe that the Celtics and the Trailblazers can't bring in a retread. I think for how it would appear, they would be better off going and finding some new blood. I think the NBA is better for the new blood that's out there. Notice Monty. I think that they have an opportunity to go find an experienced coach that can help them win immediately because all 3 teams are in a position to continue winning. I just don't think that the Trailblazers can go in and hire a Mike D'Antoni without a few people looking at that franchise with a raised eyebrow, despite what he's done with the Nets and the offense.
I think about with some of those experienced coaches or the retreads, however you want to phrase it. I'm curious how much Dame Lillard will have to say if Dame is going to be there. If Dame has requested an out and they're going to try to facilitate that, then you definitely go with a young coach. But if that's the case, do you really want it to be Becky? I mean, seeing what happened in Indiana this year is one of those fears for whether it's Dawn Staley or Becky Hammond, whoever that first female is. And I know Becky was I don't know if she was a finalist, but I know she interviewed for the job in Indiana last year. And it didn't work. There's going to be more pressure on that first female coach. So you want them to land in a position to where there could be success, where there should be success, not in a complete rebuild mode where you're going to suck and you got to go through the process and that sort of thing. I don't think Portland is there yet unless Dame forces his way out. But if Dame says, get me Mike D'Antoni is going to get that job.
Probably, because they ain't getting rid of Dame. I can't imagine a scenario where they would let him go unless there were so many number one draft picks spread over a period of years. Because if they look around the rest of the NBA world, if you're a small market team, you don't get the likes of Dame to come to your town.
Well, quite frankly, a collection of first overall picks hasn't really helped Oklahoma City, has it?
Well, they still got them for the next 20 years. I mean, I think 3 years from now, they're just going to alternate back and forth with the Nets, just draft pick. I think that's what it'll end up doing. Hey, we're going to continue talking NBA and look forward to the Western Conference and Utah and the Clippers. What an interesting and aggravating series. Both these teams, as far as the talent goes, there's as much talent in this series as any of the other series. It's just not the best basketball. And I don't know whether I lean on defense on both sides of this, or it's just not the cleanest games we've seen. It's pretty evenly matched. I would like to see Utah go through, but man, they go droughts. Droughts just happen to that team, the likes of which it's aggravating. Now, we're going to tell you a story of a man coming up. He's from a region in India, passed away, lived a long and healthy life, leaving 94 children, 39 wives, and 33 grandchildren. I don't know what killed him, but I have some ideas. We'll talk about it next.
Wives.
I have a few ideas. We'll tell you who he is and what happened to him coming up next year on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days, then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You're going to fire up that grill. You want the best sausage. You go get yourself some Kielbasa. And it's legendary because of the way they make that great sausage. It's done in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is cooked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company here in San Antonio, and everything they make is still made right here in town. Kielbasa is a great San Antonio company on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. If it's not, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. He puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. He guarantees it'll be the best. Kielbasa sausage is now available at Walmart, and you can find Kielbasa sausage, bacon, chorizo, and breakfast links at an H-E-B near you. You're going to fire up the grill? Go get some Kielbasa today.
Scenic Views, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Every Friday on the Blitz, tune in as we get you ready for the sports weekend. What's on? Big games, intriguing matchups, how to watch them, and more. Scenic Views by Twin Peaks, every Friday on the Blitz.
Injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries, and he has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There's no reason for you to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at their website, tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com. Or schedule an appointment. Call 210-804-5490. 210-804-5490 for TSAOG Orthopedics.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
and Doug.
Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Look, an emo wearing sunglasses.
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271. And we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
Friends, if you're in a job you can't stand or worried your unemployment benefits will be ending, you need to go to mycomputercareer.edu and fill out the free career evaluation form. I've personally spoken to them, and apparently employers are lining up to hire their graduates. In as little as 4 months, you could start your career in the growing cybersecurity and networking fields. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. Tell them Max sent you.
This is your new home speaking. I know you haven't moved in yet, but I need some favors. Could you dust the blinds? The dust makes me feel dusty. Also, we could save a lot of money if you bundled your home and car insurance with Geico. It's super easy to do online or over the phone. Last favor, when you move in, could you stick to one aesthetic? The last owner had a weird mix of floral wallpaper and nautical tchotchkes, and I can't have another identity crisis.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
It's the Blitz. Welcome aboard. He's Jason. I'm Rob. Don't mind the brake lights. We're going to get you all the way home. Hope your Monday's gone well. Staying air conditioned, we hope. This kind of started floating around earlier today. Jason saw it on the intertubes, and it's a remarkable story of a man and his 39 wives.
I'm not sure where I go remarkable on this. One, why would you want 39 wives? Two, how do you find 38 women willing to have you with 39 total wives?
Well, evidently some small state in northern India. They have built a home with 100 bedrooms, right? Mm-hmm. It's got 100 different bedrooms. I'm sure it's quite luxurious for that part of India. He's dying. He's like 75. And I'm kind of, he's not an old guy, but certainly worn out.
76, he's 39 wives. I'm impressed he made it that long.
Worn out, and his family photos, pretty impressive. And the sad thing about it is, can you imagine what his Father's Day is like? That's one hell of a party.
I think every day for this guy is Father's Day because he used and developed a rota system to decide which of his wives would share his bed on any given night. So imagine, after dinner, you play the lottery game and see who the lucky winner is.
You'd think that the wives would be spinning the wheel and not him. You think it would, and can you imagine, what killed him? It was Mother's Day. Do you buy the same gift for all 33? Because they're going to talk.
39. I think basically, you go down to Hallmark and you just get one card and you get all 94 kids to sign it. It's got to be one of those big cards though, and they all get to share it. I mean, there's one bouquet of roses. Everybody gets a petal. I mean, think about 94 kids. What do you do at Christmas?
You don't have it.
Well,
you just
birthdays. I mean, every day there's a party in that house. Somebody is celebrating something in that house. Because let's not forget all the grandkids, and then the in-laws.
It's a lifestyle. One I can't even begin to fathom, quite frankly, for 100 different reasons. Like I wouldn't even know my kids' names.
They and you got two and have that problem. So I mean, could you imagine 94?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they created a religion that allows this.
Well, I think they have adopted. Maybe he did create
400 families, according to this article, that are a part of their religion. I'm not even going to try to pronounce what it is, but he was the leader of the. I don't know, whatever, Paul, which allowed its male members to be polygamous. Some 400 families are said to be involved here. They have a 100-room, 4-story house, and he's got the biggest double bedroom there on the ground floor.
Must have a little bit of cash. There's the dowry when you find a wife, you have to kind of give something up in that part of the world. So he must be got a 100-room house, his own religion.
My friend Carl, who works over at Bjorn's, just texted and said, that's 94 child tax credits.
That's somebody who realizes, what's the deadline tomorrow?
Yeah.
Somebody was looking like, if I only had 93 more, then it would be a good tax season.
I can go get that TV. With surround sound.
94 kids.
94 kids or 39 wives. What scares you more?
The 39 wives. I can't even. 39 wives.
I mean, imagine you get off work and you got to call 39 different people to say, honey, I'm on my way home.
Well, I don't think he's leaving the house, man. I don't think the guy's got the energy to leave the house. 39 wives. What's your name again?
You can't do that.
Well, that's what killed him. Hey, in the 5 o'clock, Antonio Daniels will be here at 5:15. We'll look the length and breadth of the NBA. The NBA is looking to change one of the more annoying fouls or lack thereof. A new call that kind of needs to go away, and Woj told us it's imminently possible. We'll look around the rest of the NBA, take a break, and get you ready for a fine evening of basketball. Don't forget, you can catch the game right here on ESPN San Antonio at 6 o'clock. That's always brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Go grab yourself a pie, get yourself a slice, whatever it takes to settle in and listen to some fine basketball. We'll be right back here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Yesterday was stupid hot. It's going to stay stupid hot. You better make sure your AC is ready to go. But if you're having problems with your air conditioning unit, you know there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. Whether it's for your AC or you're dealing with some plumbing issues, there's no better company to call than Quartermoon. They're full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 for Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899 or online, quartermoonplumbing.com.
The chase for the Larry O'Brien Trophy is on.
The San Antonio Spurs are NBA champions once again.
You can catch the NBA playoffs right here on ESPN San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Catch all the action till a champion is crowned.
We unveil the 2007 NBA Championship banner.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the summer of 2021 with a spectacular offer that everyone's loving right now. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. So upgrade her diamond now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Go ahead, splurge on that designer necklace or those diamond earrings. It's easy with this amazing offer. Pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your monthly payment. And no down payment is required. You can even finance the sales tax. People are driving for hours to take advantage of this. You get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is famous for, and you spread your payments over 5 whole years. Imagine a $12,000 designer engagement ring or diamond tennis bracelet, just $200 a month. It's the smartest and easiest way to buy. And doesn't she deserve it? After all that's happened in the last year, don't miss this incredible opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest financing now for a limited time. Only at Diamonds Direct. Unapproved patent. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power and capacity your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence with Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Okay, 3 dozen by tomorrow morning. Yeah, the roses and
Faraz's flower shop is blooming. To keep up with high demand, he must strengthen his business's roots.
Just 1 second. Faraz's flowers. Hold, please. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Faraz's.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Today on Hey Culligan, buy to save. Here's a text from Devin in Denver. Hey Culligan, I'd love a water softener, but I don't want to pay for it. Devin, I can't help you there, but a Culligan high-efficiency softener can help you save oodles on energy and detergent, so the savings can be even greater than the cost. And I'm getting a mind-blown emoji followed by, yes, please. Devin, the savings are already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Online at ESPNSA.com. All day, every day. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minnix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Hope you guys are having a fine Monday. He's Jason Minnix. I'm Rob Thompson. We're going to talk with Antonio Daniels, former Spur, world champ and the like. He'll be here in about 15 minutes. We'll look around the NBA. He's got a great basketball camp. His annual's coming up, and he's going to come and talk about it. And you'll have all the sign-up information as soon as he gets here. If you're looking for something for your kids to do to learn the game of basketball, more importantly, learning the game of life. I mean, he's just the camp is just outstanding. He'll be here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to talk some NBA for sure. But before we do, Jason, have you seen this tweet from ERCOT? Have you seen this? ERCOT has issued a conservation alert. Yeah. Texans are being asked to safely reduce their electric use and want us to set our thermostats to 78.
Yeah.
Silly ERCOT.
Yeah. The sad part is I didn't know what ERCOT was in February. Now I see ERCOT, and it just scares me. I don't know what they're asking. I don't really know. I just know when I see ERCOT and I see that, certainly they're not going to turn off our power. We know how to handle summers. We don't know how to handle winter. But ERCOT just needs to go away. Change their name, do something completely different. Because when I see ERCOT now, I just laugh, especially something like that. I don't heed their warning. I laugh at them and go, oh,
well, bleep. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't occur. My goodness.
Oh, bleep.
Oh, silly ERCOT.
Uh-huh.
So the NBA, Adrian Wojnarowski dropped a bomb, and it's not really a bomb, but I'm interested that they're already considering this, that the Board of Governors are already gathering to discuss some rules changes for next season. And one of the more annoying penalty foul calls that we see in the NBA is the aggressive move by the offender, the offensive player, to lean in, lean back, lean forward into the defender to pick up an and one possibility, especially on the 3-point plays where guys are jumping toward them to block a shot or to get in there, or also the rip throughs when guys are trying to guard and they rip the ball up and the defender has the hand out there and they immediately draw a foul, even though the defender never moved. They're finally trying to stop that. I think we'll call it the James Harden rule, though Trae Young seems to be mentioned in this conversation as well.
Well, I mean, whether it's Trae Young or James Harden or Steph Curry or, all these guys, you breathe on them and there's a foul. Luka needs to be in that conversation as well. The one that plays for Dallas, not San Antonio. So when you look at it, by the letter of the law, it is a foul as we sit right now. It shouldn't be. Credit a guy like James Harden, who's been in the league, 13 years? Of understanding the rules and using them to his advantage. but it's not good basketball. Nobody wants to watch everybody shooting a gazillion free throws and seeing guys foul out off ticky-tack calls like that. So yeah, change the rules. It's almost like the flop rules, when the Euro step. It needs to change because by letter of the law, it's a foul, but it shouldn't be. And I hate seeing an offensive player rewarded with an extra free throw like that, especially when they're not even trying to make the shot. They're just trying to get to the line, and they know they will.
Watching the Euro 2020, the tournament du jour that the soccer world is giving to us, you can see it there. You watch the Euros and they do the same thing. And as soccer, at least the game continues and they add some time later on to kind of maybe justify the time that they were dealing with these players. What I hate about this is not so much even the foul, but the way it just stops the momentum of a game. I don't like it. And it's all the stars that do it. Even though the freak can't shoot free throws, he certainly likes to pick up the and one, and he's great at doing it. And we know about Harden. Yeah, they need to fix this. I'm not sure how far you can go because it is, hey, if you hit the hand, you hit the hand. If you hit, you want to protect the shooters and the players, but they've got to stop this. We saw it happen just last night. A late game rip through with Chris Paul, whistle blows immediately as the ref standing right there, and Paul goaded the defender into a foul. That's what I hate. I don't like that.
And again, you talk about the call immediately. Sometimes, and these NBA refs really are incredible, and until they're not. But we like to complain about refs, but sometimes it feels like they're anticipating the call because they know what's coming. The one that drives me nuts is when the defender is standing there and either jumps or goes straight up, but the shooter will jump into the defender and the foul is on the defender. That shouldn't be. I hate that. Trae Young goes sideways. Really good. And again, credit those guys for understanding the rules and exploiting them. But when you do that, the rules are going to change.
That and others, I think, are going to be adopted as the free-flowing game, I think, has gone a little bit too far. When we watch the defensive battles, people were upset with the Brooklyn Nets game. Was that a defensive battle or bad offense? I don't know, but I thought it was compelling. I thought it was a hard-fought basketball game. And refs right now, I do believe, especially in the Denver series, just swallowed their whistle in that last game until Jokic. And Jokic went so far as to get himself thrown out. He didn't intend to. He's actually come out and apologized. But when you look at those kind of calls where the ref had to make a decision, was that a flagrant 2? Was it worth getting thrown out? Gosh, that one was tough on the Nuggets. And I can see both sides of that. I really can. That was intentional. He even admitted afterwards, I was trying to change the energy of the game and, accidentally swiped down Campaign's face and left him, in tears on the court. But to end a team series, they had every right to do it, but I think it was a gross overstep. Well, just gross.
With the explanation of the windup when they finally got the guy in Secaucus on TV, and he talked about the windup was the big thing. The reality is, even if they would have just called that a flagrant 1, because it was much more than just common foul, so it was going to be a 1 or a 2. But then the dust up with Devin Booker afterwards, he would have gotten another technical. So it would have been a double T. He was out of that game whether it was a flagrant 1 or 2, because the other T was there. But I don't think you could have called that a common foul just because of the way he motioned his arm and whatever. I'm sounding like Malone. The whatever verbiage they used, it was. But he made all contact with the ball. It's just, dude's nose got in the way.
Campaign immediately came back to that. And by the way, Denver, when Chris Paul is going right, you need to guard him. If he is on the right elbow next year for prep's sake, you need to pick him up before he gets the elbow. How many jump shots did he hit from the same spot yesterday? 6, 7, 8 within about a 4-foot square every time he went. Guys, you're going to have to pick him up. An important safety tip for Utah or the Clippers: when he's dribbling right and gets to the elbow, you're going to need to step out and guard him because he doesn't need to kick it. He's pretty accurate from there.
that third quarter was something special to watch from Chris Paul last night.
When you look at certainly the sweep was great, and every team likes a little bit of rest. 9 games or 9 days is the potential rest for the Suns. And last week I came on here thinking the Suns were running pretty hot. I mean, they were playing as good as they could play last week. I know that Chris Paul is more than happy to take 9 days off. That shouldered, while it looks pretty good now, you never know how healthy he is. But if I am Monty, I'm worried about this much time off. This is a team that hasn't been here before. They don't know how to maintain. Who would, in the midst of a playoffs, as you get ready for a Western Conference Championship Series, take 9 days off? I'm sure they're happy to get it. But if I'm Monty, I'm calling every coach around the world. How do you keep your team's knife sharp? How do you keep that edge going? Because it's not worst case scenario, because the worst would be an injured Chris Paul with 2 days off. But it is not the best situation for the Suns to be in. And if they can manage to overcome this, because the team that comes out of Utah or the Clips are going to feel like they're relatively hot, because this is a hard-fought battle. It's going to be hard to turn that thermostat back up for Phoenix.
I think one thing that's going to help, and the thermostat is on in Phoenix, just so you know, and Phoenix is open. Could you imagine 9 days off with the protocols that we started the year with? That would be more concerning to me as a coach. Or when you look at, some of the hockey teams in Canada, what they're going through right now, at least 9 days, man. Take a couple of days, go play some golf. It's 100 gazillion degrees outside in Phoenix right now. But at least you're not under those strict protocols in Arizona like in some other states. So, but 9 days, man, that is a long time. And again, how rusty are they going to be? Game 1 in that Western Conference Finals is going to be interesting. But also, if it's in Phoenix, the crowd there, that city is on fire right now for their Suns. It was fun being there this weekend and seeing that.
And not to mention the unis, man. That Valley uniform, the black Valley uniform, it's tight, looks good. That's it's better to look good than to feel good, and they got both. When we come back, let's talk to an old friend of the show, Antonio Daniels, I believe, sat in the seat I'm in right now. Antonio will be with us next. Hang around here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Mondays are always weigh-in days around the Thompson house, and for the last 18 months or so, been good days. The Institute for Functional Health and I have been working together for about 18 months or so on an ongoing weight loss program. And I say weight loss because I've lost nearly 60 pounds, but it's more about the health. I met Dr. Jacob Torres over at the Institute for Functional Health a little over almost 2 summers ago. Walked in there weighing nearly 300 pounds. I wasn't going to go on a diet, didn't feel all that good, but it wasn't something that I was imminently planning on. And sitting with Dr. Torres was an eye-opener. He is the first physician I have ever met that could not wait, was eager to do everything he could to help me get off the medications that I was taking. A year and a half later, the diabetes numbers, they're way down. Hypertension numbers, they're way down. The scale numbers, they're way down as well. I feel better than I have in a long time. And if you're living the life where you think just getting old stinks, it's just part of my life. I'll tell you what, if you're carrying extra pounds, you will be amazed at how good you will feel really in a remarkably short amount of time by changing your diet and getting on a healthy lifestyle. And this is what I want to talk about with Dr. Torres. He puts together programs individually for his patients. This is not an off-the-rack program. This is not something that has been put out for years and people can go buy off the rack and hope it works and then yo-yo back to even more weight. This is a change in the way you live and a change in the way you eat. And it's monitored by medical professionals like Dr. Torres and the rest of his great staff at their great office down there on Ashby. It's the best thing I've ever done. It is a program made for me. Dr. Torres has been a cheerleader, a mentor, a coach, and a little bit of a taskmaster. You're not living up to your end of the bargain. It's nice to have somebody who step in and say, it's time for you to step it up. If you want to live a healthy life, you need to do the right things. I want you to go check out their website, IFFhealth.com. Take the functional health test, read through what they do. I think it'll change your perspective on medicine and how you interact with the medical community. You want to meet Dr. Torres, I want you to give him a call. You can meet with him however you'd like, and it's always free of charge, 210-468-1891. Together with the IFF, you can change your life. Call Dr. Torres. Get on the program. You'll see what I'm talking about, and when I do, you'll thank me later.
No Justin Bieber bump music here. Stop it! Knock it off! San Antonio sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. Jason Minnix here for New Brakes, nubrakes.com. They're a mobile brake shop. They will come to your home or office or wherever you are and fix your brakes. If your brakes are bad or going bad, go to nubrakes.com and schedule your repair. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes, so you won't get the upsells like at a traditional repair shop. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. If your brakes are squeaky or grindy, go to nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. nubrakes.com. Busy at work or just relaxing at the house, you continue to do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes. They're great at what they do. Go read all their 5-star reviews and schedule your repair at nubrakes.com.
I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a quick tip from H2O Wireless on stretching your budget and saving money every month. Start with your recurring monthly bills, and here's the easiest one, your cell phone bill. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge premium rates for unlimited data, when in all actuality, you have no need for that much data. H2O Wireless, on the other hand, is on the exact same network as one of those carriers, but charges you half. The average family of 4 is saving over $70 a month without having to sacrifice coverage. And listen to this, unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 per month. Switching is as easy as swapping out your SIM card. You can keep your phone and your phone number. Here's how to get the best deal. This month, dial pound 250 and say keyword get H2O. You'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250 and say get H2O for this exclusive offer and start saving today.
It's a baseball summer, and the Missions are back on at the Wolf tomorrow night for $2 Tuesday. The Missions battle the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. Come out and enjoy $2 tickets, parking, beer, and sausage wraps. Gates open at 6 p.m. with the first pitch at 7:05. Go to samissions.com for tickets and details. That's samissions.com. Wolf Stadium is now open to 100% capacity for Missions baseball. Let's get back to fun. Play ball!
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's San Antonio area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis.
Okay, 3 dozen by tomorrow morning. Yeah, the roses and
Faraz's flower shop is blooming. To keep up with high demand, he must strengthen his business's roots.
Just 1 second. Faraz's flowers. Hold, please. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Faraz's.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're on the go and want to see Jason Minnix's beautiful face, you can go to ESPNSA.com. I recommend just hanging out with us wherever you might be. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. We'd like to welcome on the show a good friend of ours and San Antonio's. Antonio Daniels joining us out of his busy schedule. He has squeaked out some time for us, and we're awfully grateful. Antonio, thanks for stopping by, man. How's your day going?
Rob, Jason, I am blessed. How are you guys? I'm equally as grateful to join you guys.
I appreciate you taking the time, AD. Man, I was in Phoenix over the weekend visiting my daughter, and I tell you what, Phoenix right now has a feel like San Antonio back in 1999. The question is, do they have what it takes to win it all?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Jason. I don't think it's on Phoenix. I think it's on health of the other teams. Do I think they have enough to get out of the Western Conference? Of course, because they have one of the best game managers to ever play the sport in Chris Paul. He has elevated every situation that he's ever stepped into. Yep, Devin Booker is a young and up-and-coming star. DeAndre Ayton's playing fantastic. And you have certain guys on that team, Cam Payne, Mikal Bridges. You have guys that are having Cam Johnson, that are having career years. So, yeah, they definitely have enough to get out of the West. But the question that I have is, if Brooklyn is healthy, with a healthy Kevin Durant, a healthy Kyrie Irving, a healthy James Harden, and with role players whose skill set complement those stars, do I think that they have enough to beat that Brooklyn team? I don't. But is that Brooklyn team, will we have an opportunity to see that Brooklyn team again this year is the question.
Good question to ask as well. Antonio Daniels joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. I want to stick with Chris Paul for just a second. What is it about his game that has changed over the years? Why is he suddenly now able to do this where in the past he wasn't? I don't think his skill set has improved all that much. He's always been this good.
And you just said it. He's always been this good. And to me, Rob, nothing has changed. What I love about what he did yesterday is, today's NBA is all about pace and space and analytics. And what Chris Paul did yesterday is he basically kicked analytics in the mouth because he had 37 points. He was 14 and 19 from the field. You know how many three-point shots he took? None. 0. And that's what I love about Chris Paul. He stays true to who he is. That's who he's always been. He's been a mid-range monster for as long as I can remember. And as much as analytics will tell you it's about threes, it's about layups, it's about free throws, and it's about dunks, you have to be the best version of yourself. Kawhi Leonard is a mid-range guy. Kyrie Irving is a mid-range guy. Devin Booker is a mid-range guy. And Chris Paul showed the value of the mid-range jump shot yesterday, regardless as to what the analytics will tell you.
Antonio Daniels joining us here on ESPN San Antonio, talking NBA playoffs here on the Blitz. Phoenix wins that series in a sweep 4-0. What does that say about the Denver Nuggets and their future?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The thing is, we had this discussion on our radio show last week. Can you guys think of a year where injuries played such a role and were so impactful in the playoffs?
It's been a long, long time.
Right. I can. You can go and you can almost look at every different series. Starting with the Lakers with LeBron and AD, Mike Conley's not playing for Utah. Jamal Murray's not playing for Denver. So you can go down the list. Donovan Mitchell's injured in Utah as well. You can go down the list of different teams that are injured. I don't think this says anything about Denver, but I'm talking about as far as the future is concerned. I think they should be – I know you don't want to feel this way after you get swept, but it was a successful season because of the amount of injuries they had. Their Robin got injured. The Robin meaning Jamal Murray was injured. Now, if we're having this conversation and Jokic is healthy and Murray is healthy and Will Barton is healthy and Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, and yet they got swept 4-0, different conversation. But when you're without your Robin, take off the second best player on any team in this league and you're going to have problems. We saw what the Lakers look like without Anthony Davis. That's their Robin. Take the second best player off of any team and you're going to struggle. What I like about what Denver did this year, Michael Porter Jr. found his footing when Jamal Murray got hurt. And also, Jokic won the MVP. That's huge. That is huge for a market and a organization like the Denver Nuggets.
It's interesting you talk about Jamal being the Robin. I would argue that coming into this season, he was Batman. I would argue from what we last saw. Oh, come on, Antonio. What we last saw in the bubble was Jamal taking control and being the leader of that team. I think when he went down, I think we realized that Jokic is the MVP for all that he'd been doing behind the scenes. But I think we could argue after last year's bubble, Jamal was the man.
I mean, no one's ever questioned Jamal Murray's talent, but you also have to understand it was the bubble. And I remember at the beginning of our show, before this season started, there were a lot of teams and individuals that benefited from the bubble. I said the Miami Heat benefited from the bubble. And so many Heat fans called into our SiriusXM show and told me I was wrong. When there is no hostile environment, when there is no road games, when you don't have to travel and all of these other things, you have to take all of this into consideration. So when a guy goes in the bubble and he performs exceptionally well, now you don't want to take away from what he did because everybody had to perform in that bubble. but there's a difference. There's a drastic difference. Think about the conversation that was had about Tyler Hero last year in the bubble. Remember when Miami went on that run and everybody was talking about Tyler Hero? Don't trade James Harden for Tyler Hero. Don't trade Giannis Antetokounmpo for Tyler Hero. But then you have to go on the road and prove that with fans and a hostile environment, all these other kind of things, and the game changes. I'm not discrediting what Jamal Murray's done, but what Jokic has been doing from the moment that he's been in Denver has been next level.
Next level for sure, man. That is, he's a witch. Okay, what's going on with the Clippers?
I don't know.
Seriously, you've been around. They are unmotivated. I'm tired of watching.
I needed to hear
One-on-one. I mean, it's one guy take over.
I needed.
One guy takes over. What's going on with the Clippers?
It's a wild question because to me, there's always something, and I picked the Clippers to come out the West, but there's always just seems like there's something that's missing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that something is, though. I don't know, because if you look at it, the star power's there, the talent's there, the experience is there, the championship experience is there. They have 3 guys on that roster that have won championships. That's one of the reasons they got past Dallas. But something is just not, like when you look at championship caliber teams, like you can watch the Clippers play on one night and they look like the best team in the NBA. And then you can watch them play on the other night and they just look like a completely different basketball team. So to answer your question, Rob, and it's a very, very simple answer, I don't know. I don't know. Like, this team is good enough to win it all. I think none of us will question that. If you have Kawhi Leonard, you have a chance because he's that good. You have Paul George, he's a star. You have a chance. But it always seems like there's just something that is missing with this team, and I cannot put my finger on what that something is.
All right, so while we talk about what's wrong with the Clippers, can we ask the same question about Utah? Because there are times where they look really, really good, and then as Rob and I were talking earlier, they go into some droughts that are just unexplainable. And I look at like tonight's game. Utah's got that 2-1 series lead. I think if Utah wins tonight, they're going to win the series. If the Clippers win tonight, they're ultimately going to win the series. And it's weird to say that when the series is 2-1, but I almost feel like the winner of tonight's game ultimately wins this series.
Yeah, but I think Utah's different because I think Utah was a benefactor of the COVID-ish season. And what I mean by that is this. Coming into this season where it's condensed, you had a condensed off season, you had a shortened preseason, you had a shortened training camp, and now you're playing basically every other day for 72 days. There was no more road-defined team coming into this league than the Utah Jazz were. So you lack practice time. But when your role is defined from what it was last year, you don't need as much practice time. So it's not surprising that they had the best record in the league all year long because they had no turnover. They lost Tony Bradley, and they got Derek Favors, who was there for the previous 10 years before he left 1 year to come to New Orleans. So Utah is a three-point shooting team. So I don't think it's about what's wrong with Utah because all year long, the question that we asked on our show is, if Utah is has the best record in the league record-wise, why is nobody talking about them in the championship conversation? They won 21 or 22, or they'll win 22 or 24, and no one's talking about them. Everybody's talking about the Lakers, the Clippers, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn, and sometimes Phoenix. But no one talks about the Utah Jazz, even though they had the best record in the league all year long. And for me, it's because they are a three-point shooting team. If Utah goes on a run for a month where their entire team is shooting the ball well, they win the NBA championship. But then the question that you ask yourself is, what are the chances of that happening?
Judging by past performance, about 70%. He's Antonio Daniels joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. New Orleans Pelicans color analyst, certainly a world champion with us here in San Antonio. Looking to the East and watching the trouble that Brooklyn's in, everybody's looking at KD, who looks like he's going to be alone at least for a game. How important is it for one of the two guards to play in the next? Whether if it's Harden, it certainly won't be Kyrie. How important is it to win that game? Can they win 3 straight with a with an 80%, 60%, whatever it might be, Harden or Kyrie, because you figure not both will be back?
Well, I think the important game is Game 5.
5, yep.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm James Harden, or if I'm Kyrie Irving, or if I'm Steve Nash, or if I'm Sean Marks, I'm not rushing these guys back. If they're not ready to go and we lose to Milwaukee, so be it. This is not a situation like you have in LA with the Clippers, where Kawhi has an opportunity to opt out and go elsewhere if he wants to. You know what I mean? You have these guys under contract moving forward. And the last thing that you want to do after what Kevin Durant went through in Golden State, going back out there and trying to play through something he shouldn't have, because what that did is that not only sidelined him for a lengthy amount of time, it put the Brooklyn Nets behind as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the bigger picture here to me is next year. You know, if you're healthy enough to go out and compete this year, great. But for me, I will always back protecting the player. I want to know that this organization cares about me and my health before they care about winning that championship. That ball ain't going nowhere. Larry O'Brien Trophy ain't going nowhere. Next year, Kyrie's going to be there. James Harden's going to be there. Kevin Durant's going to be there. Joe Harris is going to be there. You're still going to have your core intact. You do not want to risk that by putting guys back out there before they're ready to go.
AD, put us in the player mindset. If you're James Harden and you're feeling okay, and you're telling your coach, I can go. How hard is it for the coach to say, no, we're going to sit you down? How hard is it for Kevin Durant to say, no, man, you stay healthy because there is next year, knowing you're this close this year and some of the biggest challenges that you had from the West are out? I mean, how do you keep yourself from being greedy? Because I can get this one and next year too, man. The hamstring will get healthy over the summer.
But the thing is, like, you have to trust the guy. You know, you have to trust. So basically, we're speaking on James Harden here. We have to trust James Harden. So if he's telling Steve Nash and Sean Marks and Kevin Durant, man, I'm ready to go, I have to trust that. Now, if he looking at me sideways like, man, I'm going to give this a shot, but I don't think I'm ready to go, then you know what? Sit down. But if he's telling me with confidence, you know what, I'm ready to go and I'm ready to help us win Game 5 or Game 6, I got to trust him. I have to trust him no matter what. You go back in. You can go back to Kevin Durant, where he told everyone in Golden State, you know what, I think I'm ready to go. Anthony Davis in the last series, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play. Even though the moment Anthony Davis stepped on the floor, all of us knew he shouldn't have been out there.
Yep.
Everyone knew he shouldn't have been out there. So when a guy tells you he's ready to go, especially in the game of this significance, I got to trust you and take you at your word. Now, if you go out there and you're limping around and you can't move laterally and all these other kind of things where now you're basically hurting the team as opposed to helping the team, then you got to do right by the player, because the player is very rare that the player is going to do right by himself.
Antonio Daniels here on ESPN San Antonio. Let's look at the Sixers real quick. Danny Green going down is going to hurt them. It's not going to get the publicity I think it deserves, but the perimeter defense is going to suffer against a team that has a lot of it. You look at what Furkan Korkmaz or Matisse Thybulle, what's Doc going to do?
You know, we talked about that today. So I think this comes down to the way they choose to defend Trae Young. Are they going to switch? Because if they're going to switch, then you start Matisse Thybulle, because it gives you another long, active, really good perimeter defender. But if you're telling Ben Simmons, this is your matchup, I want you fighting through screens, and I want you glued to Trae Young, now you start either Shake Milton or Korkmaz, either one of them. So now what you're doing is you're offsetting the defense with some shooting and some offense. I think it all depends on whatever your pick and roll scheme is to try and slow down Trae Young. Ben Simmons did a great job on him in Game 3, though.
Antonio Daniels here on ESPN San Antonio. You talked about the high pick and roll, and I noticed something that Milwaukee was doing that they got away from. When they started winning, they started to switch on the picks with Kevin Durant. That high pick and roll that Bruce Brown was continuing to set, they switched on that instead of trying to go over the top. Without the other guards, can Kevin Durant become a giver as well as a taker on the basketball court? Can he run a high pick and roll and kick it to Harris on the edge, or is that just outside of his skill set?
Oh, that's definitely not outside of his skill set. Definitely not.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you the thing I'm watching more than anything in tomorrow's basketball game. If you watched that game yesterday, I believe it was yesterday. Yes, it was. I have not seen that much physicality allowed on the ball in years. In years. So it was almost like a throwback game, like a 90s game or early 2000 game. What they allowed PJ Tucker to get away with as far as physicality is concerned, that's why Steve Nash after the game said, "Oh man, that didn't even feel like basketball." Well, it's basketball. It just didn't feel like basketball in 2021 because they don't allow a lot of that. So it is going to be so interesting to see. This is my biggest thing I'm watching is how the game is officiated for Game 5 in Brooklyn. Because I will guarantee you it will not be officiated the way it was in Game 4. To allow PJ Tucker that amount of physicality when Kevin Durant is handling that basketball.
Antonio Daniels, it's the off season. He's not working, but he's working. And I'll tell you what, he's going to get busy next week. The camp is on. The Family Foundation, as always, putting on the basketball camp. Antonio, you're the face of it. It starts next week. Tell us about it and how can people sign up?
Oh, man. This is 20 years. This is 20 years. And I don't even know if that's a testament to a good product or it just basically tells how old I am. Think about that. We've been putting this camp on now for 20 plus seasons. It's amazing because people that attended the camp are now sending their children to camp. You know, when I'm walking through the city, I'll see people with their families, wives and children, and they'll say, "Oh, you know what? I went to your basketball camp." And it's a great feeling because it's something we've been doing for so long. And I'm a firm believer that the Lord blesses you with a platform to give back. My 13 years of NBA experience, my 4 years of college experience, my 4 years of high school basketball experience, and then all the experience I had prior to that, it all comes out in camp. But my camp is not about basketball. It's about the parallels between sports and life. I tell parents all the time, if you send your child to us for this 30 hours and they come back a better player, but the same person, then we failed you. We don't want to grow them just as athletes. We want to grow them as young people of honesty and integrity. That is the whole point. They'll learn the fundamentals. They'll learn the defense and dribbling and shooting and ball handling and all this other kind of stuff. But teamwork and leadership and communication and all these other kind of things that once you step outside the realm of basketball, because as we all know, that ball's not going to bounce forever. Once you step outside of the realm of basketball, hopefully something that myself or someone in my coaching staff said will stay with you as you step out and influence this community.
It's going to be at the Brooks Collegiate Academy, the 21st. That's a week from today. It'll be all week long through the 25th. Where's the best way for them to go get registered, Antonio?
The best way to register is AntonioDanielsCamps.com. It's co-ed, ages 6 to 17. Every camper receives a T-shirt. Every camper gets fed lunch. I'm there all day, every day. So this is not a camp that I put my name on and come in, sign autographs, shake a couple hands, and go home. I am there all day, every day. I open every day with prayer. I close every day with prayer. And I give my energy, my effort, my enthusiasm, and my passion to this camp. I look forward to this week every single year.
We can't wait. I miss that I don't have kids to send. I have in the past, and they got a lot out of it. I can speak. Everything that he said is absolutely true.
Yep.
They come back speaking of other things than basketball, which is a remarkable thing considering they got to go run around in front of a former world champ, man. It's a great camp. I can't stress it enough. Get your kids signed up. They're going to be taken care of the entire time, and they're going to learn something well beyond it. AD, man, it's always a pleasure catching up with you, man.
For sure, guys. You guys stay blessed.
You are very best. We just were by Antonio Daniels. You missed any of that interview, make sure you go to ESPNSA.com. AA Best Bail Bonds audio vault right there for you. You can catch up on all thing Blitz. Coming back, we'll look around the NFL. There's a running back in Kansas City who regrets what he had to say, but isn't upset that he said it. We'll make sense of that coming up next here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you need your logo on gear, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. Business owner, manager, club leader, you can get your logo on shirts, on jackets, on caps, on masks. If you need uniforms, Boy, Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. And it's not just embroidery, silkscreen shirts as well for any occasion, whether they're for your employees, maybe for your family reunion, your basketball camp. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands. He's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround, no order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit the massive showroom on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you know you're going to work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Love the Blitz? Well, why not watch along and interact with the guys every weekday from 4 to 7? You can watch the show live every day at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
Jason Minnix here for Alamo Water Softeners. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. While we can't control the quality of the water supply that comes to your house, you can't control the quality that comes through it. You don't want to wait until you think you've got something wrong with your water to call Alamo Water Softeners, because some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. Let Alamo Water Softeners come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and a free estimate. Get a free reverse osmosis drinking system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. I've had a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners in my home for about a decade. They're fantastic people to work with. Great company owned by the Townsends. In fact, on the Nextdoor app, they were voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to the website, alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the summer of 2021 with a spectacular offer that everyone's loving right now. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. Upgrade her diamond now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Go ahead, splurge on that designer necklace or those diamond earrings. It's easy with this amazing offer. Pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your monthly payment. And no down payment is required. You can even finance the sales tax. People are driving for hours to take advantage of this. You get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is famous for, and you spread your payments over 5 whole years. Imagine a $12,000 designer engagement ring or diamond tennis bracelet, just $200 a month. It's the smartest and easiest way to buy. And doesn't she deserve it? After all that's happened in the last year, don't miss this incredible opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest financing now for a limited time. Only at Diamonds Direct. Unapproved credit. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock Ontario.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
The football offseason is always exciting. Coaches getting hired, players getting traded, free agents moving to new cities. If you want to hire people that you're really excited about, team up with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's matching technology finds people with the right experience for your job and actively invites them to apply. No wonder 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Greeny. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's the Blitz. Welcome on to ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minnix. I'm Rob Thompson. We're so glad you're with us today. We're going to take you up to 6 o'clock. We got NBA playoff basketball for you. But before we get into basketball, let's look around the NFL. seems like forever ago that Le'Veon Bell was using that unique running style to run all over the NFL, one of the more talented guys, and he started to believe and read his own press clippings. Holds out for a whole season, ends up with the Jets, and is now unemployed. When we last saw him, he was wearing a Kansas City Chief uniform, but the most part, we saw him on the sidelines in the playoffs. He wasn't happy about his time in Kansas City and spoke to that a couple of days ago, Jason, and I think he regrets it.
Well, I mean, he says he regrets putting it in social media, regrets making things public, but doesn't regret what he says because he's not a fan of Andy Reid. He said, quote, "I'd never play for Andy Reid again. I'd retire first." Dude, I don't know what's going on with you and Andy Reid. Most people seem to love Andy Reid, whether you played for him with the Eagles or there with the Chiefs. But I think you get some insight when a guy like the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, tweets out, "These fellas will blame everybody for their lack of success. That's how I know I'm built different." And you think about Le'Veon Bell, incredible God-gifted talent. But does he have the work ethic and the self-discipline? You know, for Pittsburgh to let him go, sit out a year, cost millions, but they let that dude walk. And then he gets to the Jets and complains about their lack of creativity. Well, yeah, it's the Jets. I get that. It's 3rd and 1. What do you think Adam Gase is going to do? Run right between the guard and the center. But then to call out Andy Reid, but then have other players not have your back? I know everybody's entitled to your opinion, but I think it says a lot more about Le'Veon Bell than anything else.
Yeah, it's Andy Reid. Of all the coaches you can't get along with, and you're on the offensive side of the ball, you couldn't get along with him? I think that just speaks to who he is. And it's unfortunate because he is a remarkably talented running back that I do believe has something left to give, but I wouldn't have him on my team.
Well, I mean, that's it. I think the answer was a remarkable running back. Father Time catches up to every running back. He's pushing 30 or what is he, 29, 30? Is he 30 yet? Because if he's 30, he's done. But he couldn't get on the field in Kansas City. He couldn't earn his way onto the field. You know, maybe taking a year off in your prime wasn't the smartest business decision after all. Of all players, though, and I don't know anything about Le'Veon Bell on a personal side, but he must be tough to get along with. I mean, for Tomlin to let him walk, and then he doesn't last in New York, and for him to have issues with Andy Reid, that says a lot about you, Le'Veon Bell. Oh, young athletes see this. You think your stuff doesn't stink. Well,
you show up behind Hilaire and the likes, and he didn't have a bad season. 76 touches, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns in 9 games in a backup role.
Yeah, that's a bad season for Le'Veon
Well, I
Bell.
mean, he's in a backup role behind Hilaire, Darrell Williams. There's other guys in front of him. So, I mean, he's a productive guy that I know the Chiefs would like to be able to hold on to because he does fit that offense, but no one likes him. So you got to go, man. You got to go find some other place where people don't know you yet. Hey, we're up against it. When we come back, we've talked about Becky Hammon interviewing in Portland being imminent. So there's a billboard up in Boston that is asking the same thing. Well, look to tonight's game and see who is behind the Becky Hammon or Kara billboard in Boston. We'll talk about it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, somebody you know gets arrested, you get arrested. Of course, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. You can call 210-225-2121. You could text the word bail to 474747, or you can even start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 to get you out fast. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, AA Best Bail Bonds for stress-free bail bonds. License number 149. Text the word bail to 474747 or call 210-225-2121 or go to the website mybestbailbonds.com.
Catch Texas Rangers baseball right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Brought to you by New Breaks Mobile Brake Repair.
Back, he's at the wall, and that ball is history.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
You know, I've had a water softener in my home for about a decade. It's from Alamo Water Softeners. In fact, when we moved a little more than a year ago, the first thing I had installed was the new water softener from Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business by the Townsends. On the Nextdoor app, they were voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. It's because of the great work that they're doing. Now, you think about in San Antonio, we do have some of the hardest water in the country, and you can't control the quality of the water that comes to your house, but you can control the quality that comes through it. So call Alamo Water Softeners, have them come out to your house and give you a free water analysis and a free estimate. Don't wait until you think something's wrong with your water to call them, because some chemicals and contaminants are undetectable. Get yourself a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners. Get a free reverse osmosis drinking system with the purchase of select new water softeners while supplies last. Alamo Water Softeners provides the best value for the highest quality water treatment. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Don't let a slick Willie or some Johnny-come-lately throw you a fast one. Go with a trusted pro you can count on. Your independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer is trained to be the best. Quality service before and after installation. American Standard Air.
Thanks, Nolan. Go with the pros at Aramindia, the largest independent American Standard dealer in South Texas. Take it home, boys.
ARAMENDIA, Aramindia.
License number THCLA 447668.
If an education can help you prepare for a career change, here's an opportunity. University of Phoenix is awarding up to $1 million in new scholarships this month. You could earn between $2,000 and $3,000 in a non-cash tuition scholarship. See which one you may qualify for at phoenix.edu.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
It's the Blitz. Thanks for hanging with us today. He's Jason Minnix. I'm Rob Thompson. We're about to head into the sunset and get you the Philadelphia-Atlanta game. Right when we go off, Mellow Mushroom brings to you playoff basketball throughout the NBA's playoff period. We'll be bringing you the games. Before we get into that, Jason, there's Fox 29 has an item floating around the inner tubes. A billboard has gone up in Boston that says it's time to shake it up. Hire Kara or Becky. Kara Lawson is the assistant coach there at Duke. That's also been mentioned in several opportunities floating around the NBA right now. And I'm glad to see that Boston, at least somebody up there, continues to push for that, because I think Boston's in a prime position to go get a coach like Kara Lawson, like Don Staley, like our very own Becky Hammond, who can land in a situation where 80% of the work's been done. You've got talent there. You just need to bring everybody onto the same page. And heck, your former coach is still in the building. It is the best opportunity for a new basketball coach that I've seen in quite a while. And we've got a groundswell of want. I do believe of the 3 openings, if we want to throw Orlando in there 4, that there will be the very first female head coach hired this year.
You know, it certainly feels that way. And I get a little defensive, you know, like that billboard, man, just make it Becky. I don't want a Kara or a Becky. Hearing that Don Staley's in the running for the Portland job, just Becky. I want her to be first, but I don't want her to leave because I think it's weird that way. But there is a race. I don't want somebody to hire like this billboard. Don't just hire a woman because you feel like you want to hire a woman or need to hire a woman. Hire the best person for that job. That best person happens to be a woman named Becky Hammond.
I concur in spades. Tomorrow when we wake up, we're going to have two series at 3-1.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for Philadelphia, but I like it. Even without Danny Green, I think they've got a great shot. Boy, Utah, let's hope they stay hot because
I'm going to be a big Jazz fan tonight. Down goes that dude. May his ankle go the way of Kyrie's. Just let the Utah Jazz and Phoenix Suns get together because I think that'd be one hell of a Western Conference Finals.
It's been a spectacular playoff, and you wonder if the Sixers can get that 3-1 lead. They lost Danny Green. The replacements, they can go offense, they can go defense, but they one or the other. You don't get both of those. They do lead the series 2-1. I don't think there's any better motivation than getting it over with now so you can get your guys healthy again. If the Sixers do think that they've got an opportunity, and as they watch the Nets banged up like that, Danny Green's going to have to play a role. They're going to have to. They can't do it without Danny, even though the offense isn't going to be as important as his defense.
Have you heard how long is Danny Green supposed to be out? I mean, see him in a boot. That doesn't speak well. You know what I mean?
Certainly. And they have the opportunity to go ahead and take a 3-1 lead tonight. We're going to sum up everything for you tomorrow. Looking forward to this week's playoffs. As we also have games tonight, Jason, I want to assign all the Blitzers. Find yourself a Euro team to be a favorite of. I'm going to go ahead and take the Belgians.
Well, I think you had Northern Macedonia.
I thought you'd been there. I thought I was going to give that to you.
Well, when I was there, it wasn't really that. It was still Yugoslavia, Serbia, Sarajevo.
We got it all for you tomorrow. This has been the Blitz.
The Texas Rangers play right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
This is Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers.
And now Gallo swings, hits a bomb down the right field line. It's hooking, and that ball is history.
Your home for the Texas Rangers all season long.
Back-to-back home runs.
Texas Rangers face